Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. So today's video, we're going to talk about the Disinformation Governance Board is now on pause, whatever the fuck that means. They should just mean they're going to disband it. But anyway, the lady they put in charge of that as well, she's also resigning, right? The lady's name is this asshole here. So anyway, with that, guys, so many questions about free speech being infringed on had come up with this establishing this governance board. Now, guys, the Ministry of Truth, right? That's a Orwellian ideology, if you will, or in his book. And with that, guys, this Disinformation Governance Board is just that. That's what it pretty much is. They just changed the name around, I guess. But the infringement on free speech, and they kept saying, well, it's not infringing on free speech. Well, it is. Because if you're telling people they can't say factual shit and you fucking designate it as disinformation, because guys, misinformation and disinformation both came up as soon as Trump jumped on the scene. As soon as he stepped up, everything was fucking misinformation, disinformation, a lie, and that's it. And that's where we went. We started toting around this new term, and though it's been an old word, it's a new term we're fucking parading around. And now everything is disinformation or misinformation. Everything. So whoever's talking right now, guys, you guys are looking at me and like, this Negro's lying. Misinformation. You can misinformation anything to fit your agenda. That's the problem with misinformation and disinformation. That fucking word, that term could be thrown at anyone and be like, he's lying, disinformation. And people be like, oh, because it's word recognition. I'm using the word wrong, or the term wrong, but it's like word recognition. People associate themselves with certain words and they automatically think, oh shit, either it's true or it's not. So when someone says, follow the science, people go, well, it's gotta be real because they follow the science. And the word science is an associated word with truth, when in fact it really isn't. Then you have misinformation and disinformation. And now as soon as people hear that word, or rather the normies, if you will, they hear that word, they go, oh, it's automatically a lie. So again, word association is what they've been working on here in the United States anyway for decades. They've been getting us associated with certain words so that when we hear it, we're like, oh, okay, yeah, it was the science. Because now you're hearing that with everything. For example, I'm going to touch on this lightly. I'm going to do a separate video. But the whole pedophilia is a sexuality. You know that they're trying to make that a science-based theory? That a man can have a relationship with a child? And they're using the word science, guys. I'm going to do a whole video on that. You're going to be pretty fucking disgusted with that. But that's a different subject for a different day. My point is, guys, is anytime they use the word science behind it, it's already back. They did this shit with cigarettes. They did it with fluoride. They did it with Agent Orange. Oh, well, the science said, and people go, oh, Agent Orange is safe. Then all these dudes come back sick, right? Oh, fluoride is safe. Now it's pretty much wrecking our fucking system, our brain, the whole 9 yards. But they said that's safe. They say that, you know, spraying crops with this fucking chemical and that chemical is safe because the science said so. So every time you fucking make an association with a word, people think it's true, the word being science. Disinformation and misinformation has the same effect because when people hear that, now they're like, oh, that dude's lying because that's misinformation. Why? Because CBNC said so. I just made that up. Because they said so. And so people go with that. So this is where you have to dive deeper into every subject or everything that happens now. You got to dive deeper on your own. And then you got to read in the middle. You got to read the left, you got to read the right, and you got to come to your own conclusions in the middle, or you got to come to your own facts in the middle. But this, guys, is a good thing. This Disinformation Governance Board being on pause is a very good thing because that is another loss for Biden. That is a win for the American people. Though some people won't think that or say that, but it is a win. Now, is this a temporary win? Probably is because they use the word pause, but I do not see them getting this up and running again unless they get it up and running under something else. But I do not see it happening. There's just too many questions that the fucking current administration could not answer about this Disinformation Governance Board. There was just too many, especially when it came to free speech. There was nothing. They had no answers. They had no solutions. Well, we're going to come up with a solution. No, you're not. You have to come up with a solution before the fucking problem actually arises. You don't come up with a solution in the middle of the situation, at least not when pertaining to something like this, something that you've been writing out, planning for months, if not years. You need to come out with how we going to protect free speech. Well, you can't protect free speech with an office called Disinformation Office, because again, guys, they can label whatever they want disinformation. I could sit here right now and be like, the sky's blue, man, and the fucking the Disinformation Governance Board and be like, that's misinformation, that's a lie, it's not blue, it's green. And they could change the sky green just by saying it. That's the problem with Disinformation Board, guys, or the Ministry of Truth, if you will. They could change the narrative of something just by saying it. They did it through a whole pandemic. They changed the entire narrative around, and then when the narrative started falling apart, they changed it again. And what happened? The fucking communists here in New York believed it. Now, some people woke up to the bullshit halfway through. Some people woke up to it after they changed the narrative for a third time. But still, there are people out here who still believe that whatever narrative they're told, because they just want to fucking belong, or they're just drones. I don't know. But other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.